Well, you got a champion over at UNM. You got a couple of champions over at UNM, and it was a big Friday night, an exciting Friday night to be in the building, and an exciting night for everyone associated with UNM and athletics, and certainly the women's basketball team. And now they go into the conference tournament, which will start for them today as the number one seed. Cross country also wins a championship on that same day. What's up to you? And Merry Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Man, for you, first year, second game in the building, to call a championship in a game that goes kind of down to the wire, pretty much right down to the wire. It was a good call, and it had to be exciting and good for those ladies. And how Bradbury doesn't win, and you know, I've never been. I've called Bradbury out on stuff, but I just don't see how he doesn't win Coach of the Year this year.
Well, first off, Jeff, good morning. And yes, it was absolutely amazing just to get to experience that on Thursday and Friday in the pit with everything that's gone on this year. This team playing 15 of their 17 games away from the pit, and then everything that's involved to start the season in Canyon, Texas, to be renting gyms, wondering where you're going to play, pretty much play every series, not pretty much, play every series in someone else's gym around the Mountain West, and then to be in a situation where you win 2 games and you win your first outright Mountain West Conference championship, and that's what happened. It was a lot of fun, and I was just very happy to be able to bring that game to the people because, like you said, they couldn't be in the building. The friends, the family, the fans unable to be there. So Nikki and I were just happy that we could be a part of that and hopefully just share their story because this team makes it fun. This team makes it easy to want to watch these basketball games, to be all in. And the journey so far has been awesome, and it gets ratcheted up a notch today in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was it was fun. It was a heck of a run for that team. A heck of a run for that team, and it's not over yet. And having to win the last 2, there were, I know you were hearing them too, the whispers that they weren't going to play the second game. That the two teams were just they were going to play one, and that they were going to agree to be co-champions, and that's not how that ended up. And they played the whole thing out, and you were hearing that as well, right?
Yes, there was that, and then also some questions of how much our starters going to play, who's going to be available. But once you got into that game, once you're in that series, and especially like Colorado State played on Thursday, they were, they wanted to try to get back on track. And then when you were in that, there wasn't any limitations. You didn't see the coaches pulling any of their punches. They were out there playing for Mountain West Championship, and I appreciate that. And it was one that, with all the pointing of the fingers and griping that we saw happen on the men's side, we got 2 teams that are much closer to when their conference tournament is starting, out there playing for regular season championship, and they're showing you why it matters to play these games.
Yeah, no, it mattered a lot. I think just watching that team come together. Now, I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you a run in this tournament, but you've got a game today. They play Air Force, a team that beat them in the second game just 2 weeks ago up in Colorado Springs. But what is it, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock game, 1:30 pregame, 2 o'clock? Is that what it is?
It is 1 o'clock tip-off.
Yeah, all right, so 12:30 pregame. What do you got with Air Force today? Because this is an interesting one. Air Force beat San Diego State yesterday to advance to this quarterfinal matchup.
Well, you have a dangerous Air Force team, given the fact that, they struggled this season. They only won 4 conference games, but 2 of those wins came over their last 6 games, and they beat Colorado State. They beat the Lobos. They beat Boise State earlier in the season. So they're a team that has upperclassmen. As we saw when they beat New Mexico, when they score the basketball, they keep it close. They can make plays down the stretch. So the Lobos definitely have to be focused. And I thought Mike Bradbury, what he told the team in the locker room was right. He let them know, hey, you guys are outright Mountain West regular season champs. Enjoy this. But we still have to win 3 more. And guess what? You can't win 3 unless you win 1. So we'll see how they refocus and come out today against Air Force.
Yeah, I think that's right. I thought they got it from everywhere. And I guess I probably didn't watch enough of them to realize how important Elise Hurst was. And to have her back was a big deal.
Playing all 40 minutes. She is the best defender on this basketball team. She does a little bit of everything, not only being a tremendous three-point shooter, but just her effort, her energy on the defensive end. And the depth that has developed on this team across the board is really good. And Bradbury just kind of made it like they don't have a star. Well, they have some really good players. Latacia Duff is one of those players. But you look at a series where she doesn't score on Thursday. She struggles offensively again on Friday, and yet they go out there and win these games, and it's a testament to how they've developed and just the way they play overall. Because down the stretch, when Colorado State made their run and tied that game up at 58 early in the fourth quarter, UNM calls a timeout. Coming down the stretch, Lobos had to hit tough shots. Like, they were hitting mid-range jumpers, and that's usually not a shot they want in their offense, and they hit some big-time shots down the stretch. Tora Duff stepped up as well, and it's just a tremendous night, and just showcasing the multiple ways this team can play. And I think this Colorado State series showed everyone something different with this Lobo team. It wasn't necessarily all about offense. They had to defend. They had to rebound. Shy Magruder had a season-high 15 rebounds on Friday night, and I think that does help them, show them going into this Mountain West tournament that they can win multiple ways and have players step up when Latacia Duff, who was on fire, Mountain West Player of the Week, averaging 26 points per game, has a series like that.
All right, so awards come out, 3 Lobos. And so the way they did this, it wasn't a first team and a second team. It was everybody. There was 10. I was just looking at it. 10 ladies on the first team. 3 Lobos on that first team, and Latacia Duff was the second team sixth person of the year. But out of the 10, and this makes sense, right? I mean, if you're the 1 seed, you should have more. 3 Lobos. It was Jaden De La Sera, Latacia Duff, and Antonia Anderson, with Elise Hurst being honorable mention. Justify for me, because I don't watch enough of the women's game. The UNLV coach, winning coach of the year over Bradbury, because this one seemed fairly cut and dry to me.
Yeah, this is one we even thought Friday night was going to be for coach of the year. So whoever won that game and won the Mountain West between Ryan Williams and Mike Bradbury would end up being Mountain West coach of the year, given the fact that New Mexico, Colorado State picked 6th and 8th in the preseason, and to be where they are at the end of the year. I don't have a problem with Lindy LaRocque being in the conversation. First-year coach with the UNLV team that was picked 9th in the preseason, and to finish the year 13-5. But I would have given a little bit of extra weight to the scenario in which UNM won a conference championship this season. So yes, I was a little surprised with who the coach of the year was.
Yeah, that one caught me by surprise too. All right, so they play 1 o'clock today. The Lobo men will play on Wednesday and get their tournament started and go on from there. Aggie basketball wins over the weekend. They finish off a sweep of Dixie State 68-56. They are the 3rd seed in the WAC tournament. JJ, I told you that's kind of where I thought they needed to get. To be the 3rd seed in the WAC tournament, to stay away from Grand Canyon. They've got UTRGV first. They probably would get Utah. Well, they will. They'll get Utah Valley second. And if they can get through those 2 games, and I don't think UTRGV is a gimme, but and they split there, right? If they can get through that game, they're coming off a sweep. They've won 3 in a row now. Do you still like them going into Vegas as you have in the past, or obviously not, because I don't, not as much as in the past, but I still give them a shot to go in there and get this thing done.
It's the favorable side. UTRGV for them is the easiest matchup in the opening round. Utah Valley, and then potentially you don't have to see Grand Canyon until the finals. So I think it's the side of the bracket you want to be on if you're New Mexico State. Right now, the confidence level is not the same. And this isn't a team that it's as simple as, oh, New Mexico State out of the field, you're taking the Aggies. I think it's because they've been so inconsistent this season. They haven't necessarily played the same defense that you expect from New Mexico State, which can help them get over some of those issues that they have offensively. I still think you have to have a lot of confidence, because this is a group that's been there and done that in that situation.
Yeah. All right. I got a lot to do today. A ton to do. We got Aggie football to get through. That happened yesterday. A right down to the wire finish for Aggie football. I don't know. Do you feel better, Aggie fan? You won?
Yes, because you won.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever recall a bad win. I know some of you have bad wins in your lives, but I just don't recall bad wins. So we got to get through that. The NBA All-Star Game was entertaining. I didn't think I'd even look at it, but it entertained me. The golf tournament was entertaining. Boy, is Bryson DeChambeau entertaining in his own right. You got a ton of college basketball. I don't know how much you watched over the weekend, but there were games. It is March, and they played March basketball all around the country. So we got a bunch to do. High school football went down this weekend as well. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us. 505-246-0610. Your emails come in, jeff@610knml.com, jj@610knml.com. You can tweet at JJ. It's _ JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, and you can watch the show there as well. Bob's in for Micah today, who's up in taking care of some family business, and Josh is producing on the ProView side. You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'll just get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what
Hill's gonna just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's gonna fire at the buzzer and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much. Tie in the district, inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism, and then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds, and look at this, stripped, stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Couldn't have said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another one.
steal at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10. Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we could see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. with it. Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand.
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Weekend with football and basketball and golf and spring baseball, and I mean, if you wanted it, you had it. You had your tennis, you had your hockey. I'm actually watching more hockey, JJ, and I'm watching more hockey because your boy Van Nunley and Fred on Saturday were just like, hockey's stupid, and I watch more spring training baseball. And I'm like, really? Okay, that's cool. I mean, do you, and you've worked with me for, gosh, probably 16, 17 years now. And I'll never tell you how to be a fan. Like what you like. And as I was being told that hockey's stupid and I shouldn't like hockey, it encouraged me to watch more hockey.
More hockey on Saturday.
Did you see the between the legs goal? The kid from the Islanders. Why am I spacing his name real quick? On Friday night.
Razzle dazzle from Brazzle.
But it was in the middle of a real game. So you see this in all-star games or even maybe in a shootout, but in a real live breakaway situation, dude went between his legs with the puck and his stick for a goal. I'm watching more hockey because they told me it's stupid, and I decided you're not going to tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to be a fan. You do you. Like what you like. I'm just not into people who tell me what I should like and what I shouldn't like. This is America, damn it.
And hockey is a part of that.
Yes. Yeah, and they're like damn Canadians. And but I'll bet you watch the hell out of your soccer, which, whatever. All right. Aggie football yesterday, 35-29. They beat Dixie State. Juwan Price, 21 carries, 165 yards, and the winning touchdown late. So how should Aggie fan feel after this?
They should feel fine. Like, this is a game.
The right word. I think that's the right word.
This is a game that it's easier to spin. All right, close contest in spring, the time off. You didn't get blued out the building down there in El Paso. And I still think they should have been a lot more pumping of said breaks coming off playing your first real life football game in the over a year time period that New Mexico State was in. As to start this little mini 2-game spring season for them. They should feel all right, knowing that you had football players practicing, playing some real-life football, going to their off-season conditioning work, and they're ready for the fall.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because nobody strives for fine, right? I never, you're fine. How do I look, honey? You look fine. Wrong freaking answer, right? She never looks fine. You look
gotta
beautiful.
Say you look
fine. Or fine. Yeah, you look, damn girl, you're fine. But to that, yeah, I think fine is satisfactory. And again, nobody's striving for satisfactory here. But coming off of what you came off of 2 weeks ago against Tarleton, I think fine is okay. Now, I don't know that you found a quarterback in Jonah Johnson who threw for 171 yards and he ran for a couple of touchdowns. And I'll tell you this, I'd be concerned about your defense. I would. At some point, and maybe they don't need to be because a lot of the new recruits didn't play, so they're playing without guys who might, who would have been there in a regular season last year and without guys who will be there in a regular season next year. But the way they gave up big plays over these 2 games would concern me. Are you at least on that boat?
Yeah, it just puts even more pressure on the players you're bringing in, a lot of the transfers, to be good right away. And that is going to be tough out of the gate. So that is an area you can look at it with most of things, and with I think, cautious optimism offensively with kind of one of the things we saw come out of the quarterback play, Price at the running back position, but definitely a little more concerned defensively because it's just that much more pressure on guys to perform right away.
Aggies gave up 483 total yards to Dixie State while amassing 561. So offensively, they moved the football yesterday. Jonah Johnson was their quarterback for most of the time. Weston came in, but Johnson was 19 for 29, 179 yards. He also ran the ball 11 times for 64 yards, scored 2 touchdowns. Juwan Price ran the ball 19 times for 172 yards. And so I think that's I didn't even think of it in those terms. And I did put out a text to Doug Martin to see if he would come on, and I didn't go through their SID, JJ. I didn't. Sometimes I don't know where to go over there. But we'll get Doug on at some point to see what he thought. Yeah, better, fine, and I think fine is a hell of a lot better than you felt 2 weeks ago.
Yes, 2 weeks ago they wanted to fire the head coach and finish their football program.
Yeah,
and it was understandable just in terms of being frustrated as a fan when your team gets blown out, but there's just so many different circumstances for this team. And yes, we're talking about it across the board, but this was just entirely different, man. You're playing a spring football game, an exhibition, after not taking the field for over 400 days. Take a deep breath. Look at yesterday's game. Realize, maybe some of these guys did get a little bit better after playing a little bit of football. Get them into the offseason program and see what happens in the fall.
Cody Wilstead, the Dixie State quarterback, threw for 359 yards and 2 touchdowns. And big plays would concern me if I'm Doug Martin in that defense. But you get a win and you get to move on. So I don't know. There's that. Any advantage? And I think so. As much as you want to win a game by 20, 30 points, they won a tight game. And I always think, and I know you and I have had this conversation for years now, learning how to win tight games is big. And they're tied. They give up a home run to go, to get. Or they were up. They give up a home run to be tied, and march down the field. They get Jonah Johnson ran for a couple of first downs on that final drive, and then get Juwan Price in the end zone from 13 yards out with 21, 31, so whatever it was, seconds to go. To me, there's something to that. It's a character builder. I guess the counter to that is you don't want to be in that position. Okay. But you were, and you found a way to win.
And you silenced the noise for the summer. Like, if this was a double-digit loss, this team struggling again across the board, it would have been very bad for football. And you're like, really? It's just a spring season, 2 exhibition games, but just looking at how New Mexico State fans reacted after that first contest, this just slows that down, allows everyone to take a deep breath. The team doesn't have to hear about it. Doug Martin doesn't have to answer questions about not winning a game in your 2-game exhibition series. So that was big as well. Just slow down the noise, allow you to get back to work.
Yeah. They went up 26-21 with 13-10 to go. And then took a 29-21 lead on a field goal. And bang, bang, quick, 75-yard touchdown pass, 1-yard drive or 1-play drive. And they took the ball the rest of the way and put it away 36-29. So, Aggie fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you go out on Saturday for Lobo football scrimmage? Because I did not. And by all accounts, it was a success. They're getting better. It's what it is. It's spring football, and it's a scrimmage. Some people went out, but being home. And we'll catch up with Danny probably some point this week. It sounds like there's a quarterback competition. They're getting better. It really sounds like spring football to me, which in a lot of respects is kind of okay. I'm down with that actually. Give me some normal spring football.
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't able to make it out there Saturday morning, but I know that there was some interest and people excited to get to experience something as that practice was open to the public, the fans that did attend, and it's just nice to have that normal rhythm, as normal as things can be right now for this team back practicing. And yeah, you saw it too, and I appreciate that what the football team did. Shout out to Danny Gonzalez too, who on Friday had his team welcome the women's team into the pit. Danny Gonzalez showed up in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, to watch championship. You know, he was congratulating Coach Bradbury. He even came over to us and was like, yeah, good job, guys. Just everyone that was there, he was high-fiving, bringing the energy, and he is living what he is preaching, being back in New Mexico.
So I don't know how to explain to you how valuable that is to a athletic department. Your football and basketball coaches are your two obviously most visible coaches in a department. But they're the alphas in a large respect. They have the most resources, and hence, JJ, who has the most power? The guys with the most money, right? I mean, no matter where it is. And I'm talking about their programs. And I know I told you this, and I want to say it's probably 5 years ago, but I was at the Mountain West meetings, the spring meetings that I used to go to in Phoenix or in Scottsdale every year at the first week of May. And I was talking to the athletic director at San Diego State, and he was talking about Steve Fisher and Rocky Long. He said Steve Fisher and Rocky Long, get along. They support each other. There's no battle like there are at so many other schools. But he said they support the other programs, and it makes the biggest difference within the program. How those guys are at other events. They have their athletes at other events, women's basketball, volleyball, soccer, whatever it is. And it was really an unsolicited comment because, I think I started off, how's we were just talking. We're having a drink and we're talking and I asked how Rocky's doing and it was an unsolicited but it rings. How he said that Steve Fisher and Rocky Long can't be better people, right? He's got these two great people in these positions, but they get along, and the support that they give to the entire program makes a difference. And that's why at that point, that particular athletic director told me that there was so much synergy and harmony within the entire athletic department. And I think Danny probably saw that, and whether he's doing that knowingly or it's just who he is. And I think it's both. I really do, because I think that's who Danny is, and he loves his place, but he wants to be a leader and he wants to show support for everybody. That is contagious, and it absolutely runs through a department, JJ. And it was amazing how important that was at San Diego State, and it can be a big deal here too.
I agree. I think it's important because you're going to have your rough patches, you're going to have your ups and downs throughout your entire athletic department, but to have, when it comes to the football coach supporting all the other Olympic sports, supporting men's and women's basketball, it absolutely resonates. It matters. People see that. You want to have that kind of environment overall, and it was definitely noticeable on Friday.
All right, 2460610. If you want to come in, please do. 888-922-0610. Your emails come to us, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Of course, you can watch us on the Facebook. Josh is producing there. That's for ProView Networks on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Hey, they say seeing is believing, and it is the absolute truth. Years ago, 2003, I couldn't see. I was wearing contacts. I was getting up in the morning. I was doing the morning show, putting on my makeup, putting on glasses, putting in contacts. It was misery. And then I went and saw Dr. Coleman, and it changed my life. Coleman Vision changed my life, and they have been family to me ever since. I am a huge fan of Dr. Coleman and what he does. You'll hear this story over and over again from athletes and regular people like me. But JJ, the story is actual. I was getting up at 3 a.m. and I was going in and I was doing the news, and my eyes were misery, contacts. I went in to see Dr. Coleman, 1 in the afternoon, had LASIK, opened my eyes. The difference was insane, and I anchored the news the next morning. And I can't speak highly enough of what Dr. Coleman did for me. And by the way, the Colemans have been great supporters of our community over the years and are champions for this community and are just wonderful people. If you're thinking maybe you're a candidate for LASIK, Coleman Vision is the place to go. To me, there's nowhere else. The way they treat you from the second you walk in the door, it is first class from top to bottom, and they have become family to me. I want you to consider it. If you're ready to ditch the glasses, ready to ditch the contacts, you're ready to, you're now that we're wearing masks every day and you're fogging up your glasses with them, whatever your motivation is, go see Dr. Coleman. take a look at what they're doing over at ColemanVision.com, and I think you're going to be impressed. I've been impressed, and by the way, that was in 2003. I still see really well. It's the difference. It changed my life for the long term, and I think they can do the same for you. 821-8880. That's 821-8880, or go to ColemanVision.com. Coleman Vision changed my life. They may just do the same thing for you.
At Malloy Chrysler.
Second field goal, he's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off. Romero, a 3 for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good. Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, 20!
But he needed to get his legs back under him.
Ooh, little kick.
They leave it one more time. Two-hand hammer.
Look at this, they're not going to score again. Look at this.
Up top. Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak, ahead of the pack. Davina Lovato up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Wants another!
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores. Cut into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer for Murillo. Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. Gonna settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side post. Shot on and goal. Deflected in. No.
Dorian's gonna go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos, got it. Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Get it stripped. Calion stripped him. Compiling the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it.
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about who's going to the NCAA tournament from the Mountain West Conference. And a week from yesterday, we will know. And there was talk of 4. There will not be 4. There will not be 4 teams. Now, there's 4 teams in contention for an NCAA tournament berth out of the Mountain West Conference. But there will not be 4. I think 3 might be a push. And JJ, I think it scares me. I do believe they're going to get a second in, but there's a scenario where they don't. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Bob's in for Micah today on the radio side, and Josh is producing TV. Utah State struggled. They got by Wyoming on Thursday and then came back on Saturday. And Fresno State, like you just told me, is trying to beat up the Mountain West. Utah State hit some big shots, won a game that they had to win. They beat Fresno State 57-51. But the big one was on Friday. So you got Boise State on the outside looking in after losing last week to – who beat them last week? Was it Fresno?
Fresno State.
Yeah, it was Fresno State. I told you, I don't know, for 2 weeks that Nevada was going to beat Colorado State on Friday, didn't I? Did you see how that happened? Did you watch that game?
The ending was something else.
It was something else. If you missed it on Friday, wouldn't you say? An awkward, guarded 3 that rattled home for Nevada with 1 point, about 1 second. It was 0.8, and I think they put 1 second on the clock to give Nevada an 85-82 lead. And this is a game that Colorado State, who's on the bubble, has to have, right? This is not considered a good loss. It would be probably their worst loss. And they get the ball all the way up the court, and they hit a shot that blatantly came after the buzzer. I thought it was blatant, but they reviewed it. And then they put 0.4 of a second back on the clock because they said he stepped out of bounds, which none of us were looking at. And Nico Medved and his team take a tough loss. Look, I'm gonna tell you, at that 5 seed, who's the 4? Is it Utah State's 4? So the seeding is Boise State 2 or Utah State 2? Who's the 4 seed in the tournament?
It's Boise State.
All right, Boise State's the 2.
Boise State's the 4.
The 4. Nevada, Boise State. I mean, you tell me Nevada can't knock Boise State off in that first round and then go get San Diego State? Because they absolutely can. The way he's got Nevada playing right now.
Yes. Yeah, Nevada is a dangerous basketball team. There's nothing easy about that game. And so it is a quad 2 game for Colorado State. So it wasn't the worst thing that could happen. I was amazed that the amount of people that were blaming this on the Mountain West Conference. They're straight up saying the Mountain West Conference just tanked their chances of becoming a multiple bid league. You know who tanked the chances? The basketball teams that showed up and didn't play. Fresno State showed up to ball. Where were you, Boise State? Yeah. Now, Utah State stepped up and hit some clutch shots at the end to avoid that situation, but you're playing games. You got seeding on the line. You have potential March Madness on the line, and you just want to back out and blame it on the Mountain West. And by the way, I also did not see y'all on the men's side having to play games on back-to-back days to end the season, just 2 days before your conference tournament starts, and you want to complain that much? Okay.
Look, play the game. I've never heard people complain so much about having to play games. The games that you had agreed upon earlier. Now, not to. I think Colorado State, of all of them, had the most to complain about having to play New Mexico on a Wednesday and go to Reno and play on a Friday. But okay. This is how you guys had lined it up. And for some reason they thought that they were just going to sit there and not play, and the NCAA tournament was going to say, oh, they took the week off, let's put them in anyway and reward them. Did you see what happened with Colorado State when they had that 2-week hiatus late in the season because of COVID, and they kept slipping, and they went from solidly into first 4 out, right? They just slipped because they were doing nothing. Go out and win games. Go out and get some good wins and win games, and don't lose to Nevada. Don't lose to a 5 seed. Don't lose to Fresno State, who's a 6 seed. Utah State went out and took care of business. Now my fear, JJ, I still think they get 2. I think whoever gets to the championship game, which would, well, all right, assuming that it's the 2 or the 3 seed that plays San Diego State. This is in the assumption that San Diego State wins the tournament, and I think they may not. But in the assumption that whether it's Utah State or Colorado State gets to the final, I think that team will be in, don't you?
And so, as of this morning in his updated bracket, Jerry Palm had Colorado State in as 11. The Aztecs are solidly in. Just on the outside was Boise State in their first 4 out, and then below
Utah
that was
State's
Utah
nowhere
State.
to be found. Yeah, Utah State's nowhere to be found.
They're like Utah State was clinging if you run down the list on his
Boise
bubble
State's,
teams.
Boise State is reeling right now. Reeling. I think they've lost 3 in a row, and the best thing for this league is somebody besides San Diego State wins. You never want your champion to get beat, right, going in. But the best thing for the league to ensure that they get multiple bids is San Diego State loses. JJ, this is a multiple bid league. There's 4.5. And I think at this point, I think Nevada's grown into. I think there's 5 good teams in this league. I think Nevada, with their guard play and their bigs are solid enough. I think there's 5 good teams in this league, and then you got a Fresno and a UNLV and a Wyoming who are nice teams, and then you got the bottom of the league in San Jose State, New Mexico, and Air Force.
I agree. This is a multi-bid league this year. I believe it. It's just not a 4-bid league, and you have to handle your business. You knew some of these teams are going to beat each other up down the stretch as the schedule got tougher for teams like Boise State. But you also can't just assume that if you didn't play those games, yes, worst case scenario is you lose, and thus you become Boise State. But guess what? Everyone else is playing and finishing their seasons and going into their conference tournaments and improving their resumes. So just because you didn't play doesn't mean you're going to be in the same spot resume-wise. And you just laid it out with what happened in Colorado State. So yeah, bad things could happen when you play the game, or you can go out there and win the game. The toughest one for me is Colorado State, because that wasn't, and you talked about it all week, that wasn't a gimme game. I'm looking at Boise State and going, don't be pointing fingers at the Mountain West. Point fingers at yourself. If you're a tournament team and you can't finish the season beating Fresno State and you want to blame everyone else.
And they only had to play one game. Utah State and Colorado State both played 2 games. San Diego State wanted another game, I think, but they only played 1. And this whole Colorado State whining about we're getting screwed and they're handing it to San Diego State, and you would have lost anyway because you lost that game. So you have no claim. Well, other than look to everybody else who screwed you. Then use it as motivation, go in and win the tournament and go win a bid. But you went to Reno and lost a game that you needed to win to claim anything about a conference championship. You lost it. Okay, so New Mexico, the forfeit games to San Diego State didn't even come into play because you lost that game. So San Diego State won outright. They cut down nets, and it is how it is. You can hate San Diego State. You can hate the commissioner. Bottom line is you went up and lost the game. You play basketball. Prove it. Prove who you are. Everybody else in America was playing this week. Everybody in America was playing this week. But you just wanted to take the week off. It can't be that way. It can't, especially when you all sat around and said we're going to make up games. That's what you left this week for, to make up games. And it's a bummer. And I think I do. If anybody's got a right to gripe, it's Colorado State because of the scheduling, and they played 2 and they had the quick turnaround. But go win, and they didn't. And that's why we're in the situation we are. So the 1 seed is San Diego State, the 2 seed is Colorado State, the 3 seed is the 2 seed is Boise State, the 3 seed is Colorado State, and the 4 seed is Utah State. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbaosi throws it down.
As Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. 1st and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly. To the other side, provides some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out. See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man, touchdown, Wildcats. Not a defender.
You can't point fingers at anyone else. You got to do it yourself. So let me tell you about F45 functional training. F45 functional training is a mix of circuit and high-intensity training in just 45-minute classes. I absolutely love it so far. And the best thing about it is they are open 7 days a week, so you can find a class time that fits your schedule. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app so you can look at the classes, book your class, and get your workout in. Of course, they are keeping things safe. You have to wear a mask. You sanitize your stations when you're done. But it is for your safety and for your health. I am absolutely loving it so far. The classes, it's a different class every single day. And I was able to catch up after a busy week, hitting it Saturday and Sunday morning to get that workout in and get yourself set up for the week ahead. If you're looking to kickstart your fitness or challenge yourself to get to another level, F45 training is the place for you. They're located at 5920 Holly Northeast, so that's great access, Paseo and I-25 from wherever you are in the city. You can also sign up for a 7-day free trial, no strings attached, to see if you'll like it, and let me tell you, you will. It's a great step in your fitness journey. F45 functional training, team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Okay.
Call it as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone.
But he did a good job with it.
First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly. To the other side, provide some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out! See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. An 8. 2 receivers at the top. Harris has all day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man. Touchdown, Wildcats. Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Webskowski on the sideline. Hasta mañana. He's off to the races. Touchdown, Clovis.
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman. He's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's gonna go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's grabs. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow. Santa Maria.
And so they'll send one deep and returnable at the 2. Usually Volcano do either a reverse or a fake reverse, and here it is, a reverse. And a move to the outside. There is a lane. Look out! Shot out of a cannon. Rodriguez is going to take it all the way.
it off to Rivas for the three, and he buries it.
Billy coming in soon. Double pick set for Avalos. Goes to the right. Avalos puts it up high. Window. Scores it as foul.
Right here by Lewis all the way, coast to coast, and finish.
What a...
Around the screen. Against White. Step back. It's blocked. JB with the block.
In transition, ahead to hit on for the two-hand hammer.
Minutes to go. They've got a shot. They have a chance, and it's put up, and it's good. What a three that is by Jalen.
Hidon puts it up. Rebound, Cowboys. Right side, David Hall. Thank you very much. Here come the Cowboys. Domina Lovato lays it up. Missed it. Hey, how about it? Thank you, Lusses. Thank you very much, Raquan Mitchell. Clock at 6. They get it. Barnes Tompkins fires. Yes! Pass up court. This for the win. Blocked by DJ Bustos. Cowboys win.
Oh, JJ, not everyone thinks the Mountain West is a multiple bid league. According to AC, he says, good morning, Jeff. This league should not have more than 2 teams in. In my opinion, it should be 1. San Diego State's the only team that can win a game in the tournament. Those other teams will just take a spot away from a deserving team like Drake. What makes Drake any more deserving than a Colorado State or a Utah State or a Boise State?
And they don't necessarily have to take a spot away, given the fact there is 1 extra spot this year because the Ivy League did not play basketball.
Yeah, and they might take it away from Duke, who is 11-11. I mean, that's. I'm going to tell you, this league. There's nothing to prove it outside of San Diego State's wins over UCLA and Arizona State, but there's nothing to tell you that they are better this year. You just look at them and your eye test tells you. But I think they are a multiple bid league. Did you see SC UCLA on Saturday? Did you see the end of that game?
Music.
Wild finishes. Memphis Houston was dumb. That was a long second and a half, was it not? Felt pretty long.
Kid hits a shot from just inside Steph Curry range for Houston to win the game. UCLA got beat. SC had the ball with 10 seconds to go, got blocked out of bounds. So with 3 seconds to go, they inbound it. And the kid hits a fadeaway out of the corner for 3. USC came back from an 8-point deficit with 3 minutes to go and beat UCLA at Pauley Pavilion.
20.
All right, lots to do. Come on in. We'll get into the All-Star game as well. Bryson DeChambeau, the basketball. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Played over to Madrid. Plays it across the box off the dasher. It's settled. Shot on by Garcia. Trickles in. Goal.
Chavez blocked at the rim. And here's Dorian Lewis to Watson.
shot on and just wide. Big deflection. Goal.
Over this first field goal. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Not a game you can go have 25 turnovers in and win.
Get that out of here, Watson says.
Here comes Hodman all the way. He's blocked in return.
Dickey, did he get it off? He did, and he hit it.
They're really...
Oliveras. Wild three, and it hit.
Another steal nearly by Hidon. It is a steal. Avalos ahead to Hidon. The two-hand hammer by Hidon. I knew he was going to put that one down.
ProView Networks tonight.
District matchup there.
Davidson took it away in transition. Might be time for a jam.
Oh! Big Barton, watch him, coach. Watch the inbounder.
Duma Sanchez in the corner.
Back to Barton with 2.4 seconds left. Fires for the win. And he got it! It's good. Oh my God! On the last second shot. He did. Oh my God! Bakes it in from 25 feet and watch the celebration right in front of us. What a shot by Barton. He was double teamed and somehow found a way to get it in. Ramos to Gaxiola, high window for the win. It's good. It counts. Gaxiola with the game winner for a Driscoll Heritage.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez. Good spin. Takes it.
Ramos. Nice jump stop to the.
Play with the gambling a little bit. Oh, there's a... Hill, little step, high window, with a...
Got the second.
To the middle. Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off and close it.
Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and J.J. Buck.
Tournament week, conference tournament week. Ladies get going today. Lady Lobos will play this afternoon. JJ Buck, Nikki Heckroth, Lobato will have the call 1 o'clock. Ladies will open up as the top seed in the Mountain West Conference tournament. They will play Air Force today. You'll hear it on the Sports Animal. Pregame at 12:30. That game is at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Air Force got here by defeating San Diego State yesterday. So Lady Lobos open up conference tournament play today at 1 o'clock. Lobo men will play on Wednesday. They play Fresno State 5 o'clock. And then New Mexico State, the third seed in the WAC tournament, will play University of Texas Rio Grande Valley in Las Vegas. That's a 9 o'clock game on ESPN Plus, and that game will be on Thursday. Happy Monday to you. Somebody once said to me, can't have a happy Monday. Yes, you can. Back when I was doing the morning show over at Channel 13. Carolyn, wonderful. I liked her a lot, but she said I would always say that happy Monday. It's like, it's Monday. How happy can it be? As happy as you want to make it. Go out and make your day. What's up, man? You good?
You made it here. You survived the weekend. If you're waking up to something this morning, be happy about it.
Yep, good day, as the replacement said. Doesn't have to be a Friday. Doesn't have to be your birthday. Could be any day at all. I got an email. I got a bunch of emails, and they're coming in. Jeff at 610knml.com or JJ at 610knml.com, and I'll get there. Did you watch the All-Star game last night? NBA All-Star game? Did you catch any of it?
Very little. Just had a lot going on last night, especially coming off of the Air Force San Diego State game, which I was watching, preparing for both teams, and then locking in on Air Force once that result went final. But the thing to me is how outrageous Steph Curry and Dame Lillard are.
Stupid.
They're taking legit jump shots from half court and making them like it was nothing, which is just crazy.
Yeah, we're watching alley-oops to point guards and guys with range that basically is half-court stripe. These guys are so unbelievably good. And Dame with the end of the game, but Steph did it all night. Giannis didn't miss a shot. It's amazing how good they are. Rudy, good morning. Happy Monday to you. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. Hey, I just wanted to make sure that JJ is now understands that he's joined Rarefied Air. Henry T. and I broadcast the first WAC championship that the ladies won in basketball. So you're up there in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame now, JJ.
I just enjoy watching this team play basketball this season.
I'll tell you what, that was just a really, really high-level basketball game Friday. Colorado State runs their stuff really well. They are a really good offensive team, and they gave Latasha all she wanted defensively. She couldn't get a shot off, so other Lobos had to step up, and that's always the mark of a good team. The sum of all fears happened yesterday for me in Michigan. Not only did they lose to Michigan State, but Eli Brooks turned his ankle.
That's a problem.
Well, those are the games, and that's the way it is. And Michigan didn't
Why were they
away,
playing?
They didn't try to say, well, we don't want to play, and we already wrapped up the Big Ten. So
why did they play, Rudy? Yeah, they should have been playing. It's COVID, and why now they're just hurting their own league. They should call Craig Thompson and blame it on him.
Yeah, well, that whole thing that Colorado State did, don't whine. Everybody gets their cards. The fans are supposed to whine. That's the fans' job.
And they are.
The team's job is to go out there and prove that they're good enough to win. And, Boise State started out like a house of fire, but everybody came back to them or they came down. I don't know what's going on with them.
I'll tell you, Rudy. I'll tell you straight up. Look at their schedule. Look who they beat early on in the conference schedule. Then they all of a sudden had to go play at the Renos and the San Diego States and the Utah States and the Colorado States, and they weren't beating up on Air Force in New Mexico and San Jose State anymore.
Yeah, and I will say this: people who say, well, that takes a spot away from the Mountain West is a good basketball league. Is it the best? No. Is it the Big 12 or the Big 10? No. But I think it's as good as the Pac-12. The Pac-12 hasn't shown me anything this year. I think San Diego State could beat just about any team in the Pac-12, don't you?
Well, they beat the two they played, right? They beat the two they played, and one was a road game, one was a home game. And look, stop it with this. It's this whole this New Mexico, we're not good enough mentality. The Mountain West isn't good enough. All the pundits tell you, all the experts, whether you believe them or not, you listen to them. They all tell you that this is a multi-bid league, that this is good. This league has 4 good teams this year, and I'll tell you, I think Nevada has become another one. But believe it, like it's okay. Now they beat up on each other like the Pac-12 does. This year they just had no opportunities outside of what San Diego State did. And Boise State had the one opportunity with Houston, and they lost early. And Houston's really good. They had no opportunities to go out and do it against non-Mountain West competition. This is this year a good basketball league at the top. It is, and whether it's hard for you to accept that or not, and the way you know it is there's pros. I mean, there's Alston, there's Cada, there's guys that you're going to watch in the NBA, and this league this year is a good. I'm not telling you the best league in America. This is a good basketball league.
It is. Switching gears real quick, I did go out to practice, and I think that's the most physical first scrimmage. They scrimmaged for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Live
is.
Game with referees. UNM looked pretty physical. I was actually surprised that Danny had them go that long after they warmed up, but it was, a good chance to see. I'll tell you what, the defense is starting to show why they're going to be really good. Every time there was a pass, there was somebody right there to either break up the pass. offense had some tough sledding, but they ran the ball. You know, Nathaniel Jones was out there in uniform but never got to touch the ball. So Danny is staying true to his word that you do everything you're supposed to do if you want to play. Meanwhile, I hope New Mexico State has a better year. I'm glad they got a game under their belts that they won because, you know, that rivalry is nothing if New Mexico State's horrible.
No, that's right. A rivalry is every once in a while you can get beat, right? I mean, ask Michigan,
Absolutely.
Michigan State, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
so, you know, the baseball team, they need a little work on pitching and they need some timely hitting. They went to UNLV and just got bushwhacked, but that's sports, isn't it?
Yeah, they got swept. They gave up 1 run in 11 innings yesterday. Their pitching yesterday was pretty good.
Yeah, you just got to get some hits now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, well, let's hit it this week, and let's go Lady Lobos, 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'll see if I can sneak away. I have a DWI trial, so I guess I don't get to see the game.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Go win it. See you.
Good luck on the call, JJ.
JJ, Lobo Baseball loses one game 24-7, or whatever that was. And then they lose the finale 1. And usually it's the other way. You lose those blowouts at the end because you're out of pitching late in the series. They lose 1-0 in 11 innings yesterday, which was just, I mean, different. I can't tell you last time in the Mountain West Conference I saw the last game of a series be a 1-0 game, let alone any games be 1-0. You're muted.
You get mercy ruled, and then you come back.
So animated. You look so animated.
I was like, dang it. Door was opening, and then I was like, I have this background noise. Anyway, mercy ruled, and then come back 1-0 game. Just you don't see that. Like, that's one of the scores in Mountain West Baseball. Like 1-0. What was happening?
Yeah, that's how it was. They lose in 11. I got Gene's in on that, actually. He's not very happy with who he calls Coach Talk a Lot, Ray Birmingham. He says, do a lot versus talk a lot, Jeff. I'm concerned when I hear OD Collar says basketball needs someone like the new football coach or baseball coach. I'd rather have a coach like Dave Bliss, who people hated because he said this was just New Mexico, but all he did was win over a coach that likes to flap his lips, then goes out and loses to UNLV 24-7 or 33-8 to Dallas Baptist, like they did a couple years ago. Look, Gene's wanted Ray fired for years. I would take 15 coaches like Danny Gonzalez, to be honest with you, and I think he'll win. And again, how many college or how many conference championships did UNM win in the years before Ray got here? I forget. Oh no, I don't. I remember it was 0. So, I mean, you go where you got to go, and I get it. I get it. He doesn't like it. Dan hates the schedule. He says, Jeffrey, Juan Jose, No Micah John, and Superstar Bobcat. Lost in the COVID is a Lobo schedule I've hated. I hope this is just a one-season blip. Does Lobo basketball play on weekends anymore? It seems while everyone's playing on Saturdays, Lobo basketball is a post time Tuesday at 1 p.m. or Wednesday at 6. Just another example of a once prominent program is out of sight, out of mind. You know, honestly, it's a big part of it. The prime TV slots are going to go to the teams the networks want to show. The San Diego States, the Boise States, the Utah States. That's kind of where it is. You used to be those. Remember when San Diego State and New Mexico played on CBS a few years back and how big of a deal that was, JJ?
Well, it's also different this year. You're not going to see a lot of day games next season. You're not. So will there be network games? I think you still got a lot for being the team you were this season, but the schedule is COVID related. It's not the new norm for the Mountain West.
Yeah, but it's also partially who are they picking, right? I mean, it just is. All right, 505-246-0610. I want to get more into the All-Star game a little bit. I don't want to do a deep dive on a 170 to 150 showcase, but I do want to hit it a little bit. We'll hit more of the conference basketball tournaments. You've got a big day coming up tomorrow, and maybe then we can stop talking about it. But it's the last day to franchise tag players, and so at least we'll know where we're going with Dak, and we can stop talking about what they should do. And I mean, it's as tired of a story as Deflategate or Brett Favre's coming out of retirement. 505-246-0610. Guys, a few truths for you as you roll through your day. As men age, things like fatigue, low T, hair loss are all natural, and there's a good chance it's going to happen to you. There is, however, something that you can do to battle nature, and you can feel like you again. If you're experiencing these things, you're regularly tired, maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds or dealing with erectile dysfunction, I suggest you call New Male. New Male leads the way in helping men deal with these issues, and they have for years. Their testosterone replacement utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology, and men all over the country have benefited from it, and they feel better. Call them at 505-652-1688 or visit NewMale, that's NUMALE.com. Guys, NewMale is convenient. They're right here in Albuquerque, and the process is comfortable. Starting with your phone call, all the way through the treatment, NewMale goes right there with you all the way through the process. The best part is the results are real. 505-652-1688 is the number. Don't put it off. Take care of you. Visit newmail.com or call 505-652-1688 and feel better.
You could continuously cough for hours.
It's waved off. He did not get it off.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Shoot, they'll get one off and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go. His
Fork driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good. Pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
and Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalan wants to put it down. Here comes Nascuchas. Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Krishan in transition, 3-on-2. Krishan going to go all the way. Whoa, Morgan. Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy, and it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
They're going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay to
I
just
got
get
you.
the measurement. I mean,
Smith's going to fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling.
Gets down into the end zone. And looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
We'll throw it. Looking. Here comes the run. Step it up. Pavia now running around. Being chased. Looks across. Throws it up and wide open. Ball is caught. Touchdown. Siembieda. Looking, stepping up. He's going to run. He's got a lot of green.
Ken's got a suggestion for you, JJ. He sent it to me at Jeff at sportsoutoflbq.com. He says, Lobo basketball versus NMSU, Jeff, with neither club looking NCAA bound, why not keep the tradition going and make your own postseason, play New Mexico State once at Wise Pies and again down in their gym for the state championship? If I would tell you if you didn't have a coach that was fired, or I'm sorry, mutually agreed to leave the program, it might not be a horrible idea since you haven't played. Like I don't know what you've been playing for, and the guys would be done, and after this season, I wouldn't hate the idea then. But Ken, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. JJ, tomorrow is the final date of franchise tag players in the NFL. And so all you're going to hear is Dak Prescott talk, and Dak and Dak and Dak and Dak and Dak and Dak and yak, yakety yak, don't cut Dak, or yakety yak, bring Dak back, whatever it is. $37.7 million is the number. JJ, the common sentiment is if they franchise him, they only get him for this 1 year, and then he is done. He is gone. Do you buy that? Because then next year he'll be on the market and go wherever he wants.
Yes, it also extends their opportunity to figure this out, to see if they're all in. And they obviously are. It's just they can't come to terms on a contract that both parties agree on. You have Dak's side throwing out some ridiculous numbers, which is not going to happen. You're not going to become the second highest paid quarterback in the league. If that's what we want, you're probably going to play this year on the franchise tag and then take your chance on the open market after this season. It's a situation where Dallas, I know Jerry Jones has said that Dak Prescott has a leverage. Well, Dallas does, because they got the franchise tag. They can place it on him, and if Dak's not going to sit out and lose an entire year of guaranteed money at that number. So while we might not see a long-term extension, Dak Prescott's going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys this season, and we'll see if he can fulfill the hype that I think he has now. And what they're able to do once they get the Dak Prescott situation figured out is we got to rebuild that offense on the line and find some players to make some plays on defense.
You think? Yes, they do. All right, 505-246-0610. Edward, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
You know, Jeff, sometimes in your haste and in your ability to regurgitate a bunch of information, you have pockets of brilliance. Yakety yak, don't cut Dak.
Or yakety yak, bring Dak back.
That is painfully hilarious this morning. That's awesome.
I'm glad you like that.
Yakety.
Well, all we're doing is talking about it. I mean, it's like how much yak about Dak have we heard? It's just everywhere you go, and I'm like, I'm over it as much as I was over Brett Favre is unretiring again, or Tommy deflated footballs, or I don't like get it done. Yakety yak, bring Dak back, or yakety yak, go cut Dak. Whatever, be done. So I'm glad you enjoyed that.
I know if you. That's almost as good as Lancifer. Lance, I know you're listening, buddy. That is such a great moniker. I know a few T-shirt companies here in town. I might put you in contact with. I'm sure you know a few T-shirt companies as well, Jeff. But that made me laugh out loud. Yakety yak, don't cut Dak. By the way, the great Thomas Edward Brady, since the Deflategate scandal, has only played in 5 Super Bowls and won 4 of them with 3 Super Bowl MVPs using correct ball pressure. So how's that going for people? Hey, the NBA All-Star Game, I think that the dunk contest, with no pun intended, may have jumped the shark. My point is, that kid last night at 6'3", to be able to elevate to 12 feet, above the rim, and just do incredible athleticism, But then just to flame out on, they missed a few dunks, and then they go with basic dunks. And I think Kenny the Jet Smith said it perfectly. I would rather go down swinging, trying to mesmerize the crowd and the judges, than to play it safe and your boys ask you the next day, what were you thinking? But he won it. I don't know his name. It's not committed to memory. But it only reinforces
his name is Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons. I want to show due respect because he did win. I think they should open up to non-NBA players and have guys come in like that white guy they pulled out of the stands in his jeans and jump over 3 people and dunk it backwards without looking at the rim. Because it's just jumped the shark, quite honestly. But it still fascinates people, and we still watch, right? So the skills competition is interesting. For years, it was around the best point guards and the ball handlers. And last night in the finals, we had 2 Europeans at 7 feet or close to it that were battling it out. The skill of the game has evolved so much. I was watching the NBA channel a few weeks back, and they were showing a game, I believe, from 1995. And it was the Golden State Warriors and the Seattle Supersonics. And they didn't they didn't make a three-point attempt until about halfway through the fourth quarter. Neither team shot a three-pointer. Neither team through almost the complete duration of the game. So the game evolves, right? The ability to shoot, per your point, for Dame, Lillard, and Steph, to be able to pull up from 37 feet and hit on a consistent basis is mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing. And I just think, by the way, Steph is the greatest shooter that we've ever seen. Klay Thompson might be number 2, and Kevin Durant might be number 3, quite honestly. And those guys were all on the same team. They might be the 3 best shooters in the history of the game, Larry Bird notwithstanding, or Ray Allen, and, of course, Reggie Miller. It's just fascinating. But, the NBA All-Star Weekend, it was entertaining and fun to watch. The Mountain West basketball, you're right. You've had conversation for a few months now about 4 teams. They're probably a single team. No,
they're going to get. I think they're 2. I think they're 2. This is a multiple bid league. I think it's at least 2. I think by the time it's said and done, they get 2 in. Now they may get one of them in Dayton in the first 4, but I think there are 2 teams, at least 2, and there's a chance for 3.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how all this plays out, but. I was entertained last night, but I think they need to make a few adjustments, and I think the NBA will. Adding that long three-point shot during the competition, that was kind of cool, right, where you backed up a little bit and be able to shoot it from like 30-some feet. That was pretty cool. But anyway, thanks for letting me share my thoughts. And
no, thanks.
Yakety yak. Don't cut Dak. That was awesome.
See you.
Have a good day, guys.
JJ, the skill on the players in the All-Star game is fantastic. It's what look. I had it. I didn't think I'd watch much of it. It was just on during dinner. By the way, crab legs and shrimp last night. Audra made this feast, and we got messy with the crab legs and shrimps, and it was good. But I had that on the background. It was entertaining. The dunk contest. I saw the highlights. I saw the highlights of the 3-point contest where Steph won. If that's your thing, that's your thing. And you try to keep that thing fresh every year. The game wasn't competitive, but it is what it is.
The dunk contest needs fans. That's something that you have to have fans. It's just the energy, the wildness, because there's only so much you can do. Now, to Edward's point, some of these guys might need to hit Instagram, get some advice from dunkers out there, because there are things you see every once in a while that shock you. You're like, wait, how did a human being just do that? But you got to put in a little bit of work. Dunk contest definitely needs fans. That's not the same without it. The game, they try to switch it up, focus on the quarters, winning the quarter. Then you have the total score, elim ending. It's an all-star game. You get enough out of it, especially at the end. It's what it's there for, just a night of entertainment.
All right, I want to tell you about Dr. Coleman and Coleman Vision because he specializes in treating astigmatism with LASIK. I had this done in 2003. I'm not lying to you. It changed my life. Before I had LASIK, I had a high degree of astigmatism, which is one of the reasons I went to see him. Now, he's been treating astigmatism with LASIK since 1998, and the technology he uses is cutting edge. He's played a significant role as Dr. Coleman in developing and testing the current technology that he uses, which is used not only here in New Mexico, but around the world. The technology originated originated at Sandia Labs here in New Mexico and is currently being used all over the globe. And Dr. Coleman's TED Talk describing his technology is fantastic. And by the way, he's a great guy. And he's become a good friend. And this Coleman Vision is family. What's happened over the year is just, it's terrific. He's worked with his sister, Ann, who I love. And they founded the practice in the 90s. They've always been out there educating doctors and patients about something that they truly believe in is LASIK. And for years, people have come from all over the country to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision because they know his reputation is the best. And the fact that he's been in private practice specializing in LASIK his entire career. If this is something you're interested in, and I think it is, because on any given day, the patients at his office range from doctors and lawyers to college kids to housewives to firefighters to police officers to people like me. Call the Coleman. Coleman Vision is I can't explain to you how much of a difference it made in my life. 821-8880 is the number. 505-821-8880, or go visit them at colemanvision.com. You will literally see the difference.
Dorian over. Did he get in?
Yeah, they got in.
Touchdown, Dorian Lewis.
Seconds to play. Benavides looking, still looking up the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Freddie Anaya, and Roswell's season will end perfect.
Second quarter, 2nd and 4 for Socorro at the whole 44-yard line. McDaniel trying, good block by Hicks. First down and more, 30, 25, 20. McDaniel might be gone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown for Michael McDaniel.
It's 40 seconds this year. It's not like 25 like it used to be.
He laterals it back. What a play by Hightower. Pitch.
Looked like somebody moved a little bit early. Hicks, the play fake double move. He's got his receiver wide open. Caught. One man to beat. Touchdown. Touchdown to number 17, Nathaniel.
Third and 6. Big defensive play coming up here. Little trickery to Reese. See you later. Touchdown. They went for the deep ball to Reese.
To the right, single receiver split to the left. Play fake, head up the middle, got some room. 50, 45, 40, has one man to beat. 30, 25, 10, 5, touchdown. Touchdown, Hope.
Wow.
On a
Option again, he'll keep it. Now he'll pitch it. Comes out to the 30, 25, 20, up the sideline. Still inbounds into the end zone. Let's see.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Portel.
The outside of running an out route.
Davis in on the play action, looking. He's going to go back to Lewis, and Lewis makes a cut, and Lewis still on his feet. Dorian Lewis is in for a touchdown.
So Davison back to toss, and he's got all day. Goodness, and he's rolling.
He's got a guy. Can he get it there? Davison to Luke Weissong.
We told you he
Touchdown.
could spin that football, and that was a throw right there. I know he's got the win at his back, but
Jeremy Segura.
Dribble, spin cycle, up and under move. What a pass. Wrap around pass.
Harris, Legate, the long bomb, 3 ball.
Oh, great steal by Quinteros, lays it up and scores.
A little jump step in the... And look out, here comes Agbayosi. Crawford set. That's blocked. Lansing says, get that out of here. Sister to sister, Marianne Lansing's going to go all the way. Turnaround. Ramos, pump fake, everyone bites. Ramos hits.
Jackson loses it. Jalen Bond back. LAU. Put it down. Dunkalicious. How about it?
All right, NBA All-Star Game is a little bit of conversation from you all, and I'll get you that. Aggies win in football yesterday, 35-29. They beat Dixie State with a last-minute touchdown by Juwan Price. So they'll finish the spring at 1-1. Lobo women's basketball opens up Mountain West Conference play today, right here on the Sports Animal 12:30 pregame show. 1 o'clock tip-off against the Air Force Academy. The Lobos are the #1 seed with 3 all-conference players on the roster, so that's a big deal. Aggie basketball winners twice over the weekend at Dixie State, 68-56 on Saturday. So they'll go into the WAC tournament as the 3 seed. They'll open against UTRGV. That's University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. JJ, I was talking to somebody, a good buddy of mine, and he's a Lobo fan, and they're talking to Aggies, and they beat UTRGV. He's like, who? UTRGV? Who? Like okay. I got it. I'm going to tell you, I think UNM's lucky they didn't have to play the Aggies twice this year.
Yes, I don't think it would have ended well from what we've seen. New Mexico, the good job, good effort team so far this season. But for New Mexico State, that was the favorable draw, favorable side of the bracket. They only played UTRGV once, and they beat them last week, right? That was the Tuesday game.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday. So I think it sets up well for them to find the mojo when they need it the most in Las Vegas.
Well, they stay away from Grand Canyon until potentially the final. Grand Canyon swept them. Now, I don't know if I've got a full feel what they are against Grand Canyon because that was the very first series of conference play, and the Aggies were coming off of basically a month and a half where they played 1 game. So I don't know how much to put into that if they get into that. Their semifinal game, if chalk holds, would be against Utah Valley, a team against whom they played 2 really, really close games in El Paso. One lost one. They lost the first, won the second. So, but I'd rather take my chances against Utah Valley in the semis as opposed to Grand Canyon, and then would set up if they get there, a final against the team who's dominated, against the team who's been talking about coming for the last 5 years.
Yeah, and Grand Canyon finally here eligible, right, to win the tournament and actually go to the NCAA tournament, which, by the way, watching some of these tournaments, what is the point of the transition rule? I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
I still do not understand it. Because there's a couple teams that are out there like best in the conference and like, oh, but you're not eligible to go because you just transitioned.
Well, they lost. Okay, so they lost. But what you're talking about is the Atlantic Sun, where Liberty and Richie McKay won yesterday, and so Richie's back in the NCAA tournament, and they were playing North Alabama. North Alabama. So before the game was played, it was already determined that Liberty would get the Atlantic Sun's automatic bid to the NCAA tournament because North Alabama is transitioning to Division I and hence ineligible. And you're like, you're penalizing them for moving up in class, and if they win the conference tournament, they don't get to go to. I don't understand it at all, JJ. I'm right there with you. That would have been the worst look of all, right? Your conference tournament goes to a team who's ineligible. We're going to send the team that lost in the conference tournament.
Yeah, I don't understand you're moving up, but yet you can't get stuff for your wins if you're good. Like, who's that helping? I don't get it.
It's the bowl eligibility thing too. The transition. If you're up, you're up. I don't understand the transition. I don't know who does it benefit? I'm not sure I understand why it is so, and I'm sure there's a reason, or at least I'd like to believe I'm sure. But there's got to be a reason, right? But who does it benefit?
I have no idea. It doesn't make sense, because if you're good right off the bat, then you should be able to enjoy the fruits of your success early. Like, you're not, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, back to it. Grand Canyon finally in a solid position in the WAC. And for me, New Mexico State, it's who steps up in the backcourt outside of Jabari Rice? We know Rice can score the basketball, but is Evan Gilliard, can he be that guy?
It's got to be him. It's got to be him.
It's him. But can he step up and be a creator, be a playmaker for this team, find some easy baskets in this offense, be that gritty team defensively, because that is the one area that they have lacked the most still, even with being up and down defensively, is offensively, even in their wins, they're shooting below 40% at times, and you need to create some easy baskets.
Yeah, offensively, this is the least confident I felt about an Aggie team since Chris Jans has been there. And defensively, this is, to me, the least dominant that they've been since he's been there. Now, look, is this a down year? Is it a weird year? Is it? Yeah, it could be all of that. That said, I think they still have the flashes that they can make a run. I'm going to tell you, I don't think they win it. I don't. I'd like to be wrong. I'd like to see them win it. It just feels like I haven't seen them put enough games together. Now they're on a little bit of a streak. Is it 4 they've won in a row? 3, 4? I think they're capable of it. If you're going to ask me to take the Aggies to the field, I'm going to take the field. I'm going to take Grand Canyon or Utah Valley.
This is the year that it finally switched. New Mexico State has been so dominant, but a lot of question marks going into this tournament, and usually everyone is all in. Yeah, let's Mexico State.
Break time.
I think the field is the bet.
Yeah, I think all of that's right. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today. 888-922-0610. If you want to get in on the Aggie football stuff over the weekend, you can certainly do that. If you want to get in on what you saw at Lobo football over the weekend, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you were out there as well. Got the All-Star game. JJ, I want to get a little bit into the golf, because what Bryson DeChambeau is doing right now, I've never seen in a lot of respects. And I thought Lee Westwood's response yesterday was just priceless. So we'll get into that a little bit too on the opening drive. You can send emails, Jeff or JJ at sportsaudiblebq.com. So the conditions outside are not good for your vehicle, and I think you know that. It's been cold, and the cold air pulled the moisture out of your paint. That makes that easier to chip, and then there's still all the junk on the road, the sand, the salt, the dirt. It's there for months, and that's bad for your paint. You don't want to clean it. You don't have time to deal with it, and you don't need to. You need to call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is one of the greatest deals going. They come to you and detail your vehicle. I don't know where they are, and it's okay that I don't. They know where I am, and they know when it's convenient for me. And they come to the office, or they'll come to the house, and maybe the office is the house. And while you're working, they're outside detailing your vehicle, inside and outside. This isn't just some 7-minute run through a car wash that everybody else is going through and it's filthy. This is by hand, an hour or more, and they will get the stink, the smell, the stains, this pet hair, all that is gone. By the time they're done, it looks like the day that you took it off the lot, and it's fun to watch again. Look, this is a big investment. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it, and call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. And by the way, if you're looking for a great gift, this is it. Like, who wouldn't love this? 505-859-2859 is the number. 505-859-2859. You can visit them at otsdetailing.com.
If you're looking to
Ramos, rise and fire. He's fouled.
You know, he used to coach for Del Norte. And here's Voss all the way with the finish. He'll get the.
Behind the back of the dribble. Tries to go up with the right hand. He changed hands in midair. And Hotnet sent it away. Wynn doing a really good job denying Chavez. DC hasn't got the ball. Oh, Yeku. Oh. Working against Watson. Oh, look at the spin move.
Ball's loose. DJ Bustos brings it up. Barnes Tompkins, alley-oop. How about it? That was redunculous.
Turnover. Cable to the big fella might try to jam on home.
I'll just get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what he'll just shoot it. He's going to go all the way.
He's going to fire at the buzzer, and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
Heavyweight tie in the district. Inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this. Stripped, stolen Watson. Kristen Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
He could have said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another
steal
one.
at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we can see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.
Oh! Ho, ho, ho!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way.
Aggie football's a winner. How should you feel? JJ says you should feel fine. And I think that's right. And I know that's not your goal. Nobody says, I'm striving, it's fine or nothing. Mercedes-Benz, it's fine or nothing. No, that's not your goal. But after getting blued out by Tarleton, I think fine is a hell of a lot better than where you were. You don't feel great. You beat Dixie State, a transitioning FCS team, by a touchdown in the last second. You won. And I've never seen a bad win. So you won, and I think you hit it on the head. How do you feel? Fine. Now, don't tell your girlfriend that. How do I look in this?
Fine.
You look fine. What? Bad answer. Don't tell your wife you feel fine. Don't tell her, how's dinner? She just spent all day cooking it. How's it? It's fine. Wrong answer. But how's your football team right now? They're fine. I think that's probably about where you should feel.
Yes, slow down the noise. It went from firing Doug Martin to it's fine, which is okay given the fact that they didn't play football for like 450 days. It's a 2-game spring exhibition season, and then you get to go in your off-season program, lift weights, practice in the fall, and then play some regular season football.
It'd be better than fine. Unless she's fine. Oh, did you see that? She's fine. Damn, she's fine. All right, that's different. Fine and fine are very different. Jerome, how do you feel about your team? You're on the opening drive. Good morning, Jerome.
Hey, morning, guys. Hey, I feel good about the football team. They're missing a bunch of players according to Coach Martin, and that's a good thing because they showed some moxie. I don't like them giving up those quick hits. That doesn't bode well for you if you're in a tight game. But overall, the defense played better, the offense played better. I like that quarterback Eggert that hurt himself. I hope he's not injured too badly because that guy got us rolling. And then the other guy stepped in and he did good because the first time he sucked at it. But anyway, I feel good about the football team, and like JJ just said, I mean, you got to keep everything into perspective. All the stuff that they went through, not practicing for so many days, and it's been a year since they even played a football game, so you just got to look at it that way. Now on to Aggie basketball. The first time that we played Grand Canyon, those were our first games coming back, period. And Grand Canyon I think they had 12 or 14 games under their belt. And we were with them the whole time. I think we lost by 8 and 12 points, something like that. But we were with them the whole time. So I am not fearful of Grand Canyon. Utah Valley, we split with Utah Valley. And once again, we were still, trying to come back and play some basketball. So finally, I think we're getting into a little bit of a groove, and people are contributing more. And we're shooting a little bit better, and Clayton Henry's finally getting the ball to go down the basket too. But I think we'll be fine, and you can put your money on the field. I'll put my money on the Aggies and to get to the NCAA tournament again with, I'm not 100% like I've been in the past, but, I'm cautiously optimistic that we're going to get it. And JJ Grand Canyon, I think they've been eligible. This is their at least second or third year that they've been eligible for the NCAA tournament because we knocked the crap out of them the previous times when they were trying to make the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So, anyway, go Aggies. I enjoy your show. You guys keep it up, and I'll keep listening.
Thank you, Jerome. Good to hear you. So Jerome feels good. That's better than fine, I think, right? What's better?
Good is a step up.
Yeah, good is better than fine.
Yes, good is better than fine. Correct.
Yeah, I still think you look at it, you're fine. Yeah, they're fine. And it's a hell of a lot finer than you felt 13 days ago, 14 days ago, right? Coming off of that whooping. So it is what it is. I mean, does this give you any indication what they're going to look like in September when they open up against whoever they're – I don't even know who they open up. I'll find that for you. But does it give you any indication on that? I don't really think it does, to be honest with you.
It puts a lot more pressure on guys to have to contribute at a high level right away defensively. I'm talking about the transfers, some of the players that were not eligible to play in these 2 games for New Mexico State, because I do believe, and you've talked about it, Jeff, the big plays against. That's something that
concerns me.
Probably is going to be a bugaboo of this football team in the fall for New Mexico State.
Yeah, no, that concerns me, and I think it should concern them, don't you think? I mean, those were big plays, and there's a number of them. As far as I'm concerned, it was too many, but that's just me. I'm looking for their schedule. This doesn't have independence. By the way, you see the Lobo football schedule came out. Texas A&M's on there. I think we already knew that. But how do you feel about that?
I like the schedule. You got your rivalry game, New Mexico State, UTEP on there, A&M. I think it's a solid schedule. Yeah. Looking at it, hopefully too, that you can play all those home and road games as is.
Looks like the Aggies open up in week 0 in 2021. They'll open up in week 0 at home against UTEP, which is actually kind of a nice way. It's a nice way to open the season. Open up with a rivalry game on a Saturday when there's only 5 games on the schedule. That's there'll be Hawaii at UCLA. That'll probably be a night game. Nebraska, Illinois, Southern Utah at San Jose State, UConn at Fresno State, and UTEP at New Mexico State on week 0, Saturday the 28th. Those are the only games I see on the schedule. It's kind of nice. I'll take that as an opener, won't you?
Yeah, especially when you haven't played a regular season football game, and at that point in time, you're approaching 600 days.
Yeah, you're approaching. I mean, yeah. That's it's a long bleeping time to go without it. So, all right. Well, he feels good, and I'm glad. We're Aggie fan. We'll see. Bob, I don't know what time we're getting out, but I wanted to hit on this. The Bay Hill Invitational, Arnie's tournament. Bryson DeChambeau won. He hit a ball on whatever that hole is, 16, I think. It's par 5 over the water. 355-yard drives. JJ, I've never seen a guy cheer himself for hitting a drive on the PGA Tour. Now, I'm not telling you it shouldn't happen. We've watched stuff over the years that, we haven't seen, right? Golf's supposed to be this. You don't cheer. When was the last time you saw a guy cheer himself for hitting a drive, period?
Here's the thing. As we get into Bryson DeChambeau,
yeah,
I love him because he is an enjoyable villain in golf, and you need those personalities. Yeah. And Bryson DeChambeau is good for the game of golf.
Well, he backs it up. Certainly he's not a big West Coast player, but I want to get into it because what he did, and by the way, Lee Westwood was so good after that. Lee Westwood, his reaction, and we'll get into it next, but what Bryson DeChambeau is doing as we get closer to the Masters, we're a month away. It was a phenomenal watch. Opening drive. Bob's producing. He's in for Micah today. Josh is producing on the ProView side, waving at you with a thumbs up. It's the opening drive at 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Moreno extra pass, and Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand.
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Another steal by Davino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming.
off the lob. Tag by Osi, the one-hand hammer.
Put up. And a drive from Palm.
Second field goal, he's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off. Romero, a 3 for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good... Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, 20!
But he needed to get his legs back under him.
Ooh, little kick.
They leave it one more time. Two-hand hammer.
Look at this, they're not going to score again. Look at this.
Up top. Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak, ahead of the pack to Davina Lovato. Up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Bach. Don't sweat the technique.
So tomorrow is the final day to franchise tag players in the National Football League. And all the yak about Dak and will he be back is going to ratchet up today until something gets done. Yakety yak, you want Dak back? Or yakety yak, don't cut Dak? Which way shall it be? It's the Dallas Cowboys got to go through that. JJ, I you know where I am on this. I mean, sign the man, figure it out. But if it doesn't, I'm stunned it hasn't been done by now. I absolutely stunned that it hasn't been done by now. But here we are. Does your gut tell you it gets done by tomorrow? A long-term deal?
No. I do not think Dallas and Dak come to a long-term agreement, and this is just Kirk Cousins at the end in Washington. It's like, well, we like you enough, but we're not sure what level we want to commit to you at. And I think Dak Prescott is going to be franchise tagged by the Dallas Cowboys. He'll be their quarterback this season. If they really do strike lightning in a bottle, because I've been on Team Dak, I do believe he is a good quarterback. Now, there's so much that has to go into this game for you to be a good football team in the NFL. You know, maybe he does something crazy. They actually win the division, get to the playoffs, and then they're able to come to an agreement on a very high number on a long-term deal. But when you drop a hint that you want to get paid Patrick Mahomes money, which is just outrageous. You know that's not going to happen. You're throwing more hurdles out there, and I think what you're doing is also, from Dak's standpoint, is potentially weighing the departure, saying, all right, I'll put on the franchise tag because that's a huge chunk of guaranteed money for 1 year, and then we'll hit the open market and see what happens.
$37.7 million for this year. So over the two, he'll make north of, well, almost $70 million. What do you make this year? 32. So that's $69-ish million over the last 2 years. So, and he's still seeking his big deal, which is obscene in its own right. But it's where we are. Okay. So what do you have here? My gut tells me, JJ, that the Cowboys are still in some sort of backdoor channel communication with Seattle trying to figure out how to get Russell Wilson. Don't you think?
You have to be in those conversations. It is bad business if you're an NFL franchise outside of like 8 or 9 where you can understand, yes, we're set at quarterback, or we have a Joe Burrow, a Justin Herbert that we want to see what is in year 2. But if you're Chicago Bears, Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins, like, you are not doing your job if you're not kicking the tires on Deshaun Watson, on Russell Wilson, going, hey, what can realistically get us in these conversations? How can this work? Because that is not just a Super Bowl winning quarterback, is a Super Bowl level quarterback in Russell Wilson. Same thing for Deshaun Watson. So if these teams aren't pounding the phones, aren't having conversations, looking at, hey, what makes sense? How do we move on from this guy, bring in this contract? You're not doing your job.
I think all that's right. I think you're dead on. And so what does it all mean at that point? And where does it go? I think they should have gotten something done. And by the way, I want to hear what happens, because I know all the blame's going to go to Jerry and the Cowboys, and I am always fine to blame Jerry. I think he's messed a lot of things up, but in this case, when we go back and look at what happened last year, I don't think the blame's on him. He offered a 5-year, very competitive deal to make Dak Prescott the Dallas Cowboys franchise quarterback for 5 years. And it's the player in this situation who opted out, who opted to not take it. He wanted 4 years. Then he went and got hurt. So now you're dealing with a player who's coming off a snapped leg. I mean, let's be very clear about this. He's coming off a major, major injury. They were, 1-4, 1-5 when he got hurt. They weren't winning. And look, I'm not telling you I don't believe Dak's the guy and he's not the franchise quarterback. But I'm not sure how then the price goes up. Right? And I'm convinced Jerry has offered a fair competitive deal to make him a top 8 paid quarterback in the National Football League. And I know always what the latest guy's got to be the highest paid. And when you're telling me Jared Goff and Jim Garoppolo got paid before. The Garoppolo thing was ridiculous. Jared Goff got paid after going to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz got paid after his team went to the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott is not. And I hear people on our stage say he's absolutely top 10 quarterback. I named you the other day 10 guys who are better than him that you would rather
subjective.
Have right now. Oh,
that
okay, but it was
because I'm not taking Justin Herbert yet. I'm not taking Joe Burrow yet.
Okay.
I like those guys, but
all right, I am.
The thing with Dak Prescott, it's pretty simple. Like, it doesn't always have to be someone to blame, and you can't say that in our business because you're not doing your job. Two sides didn't agree, and so, like, okay, this is the path we're going down. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a negotiation. I don't have any hesitation with Dak. I believe that these guys come back, and I think times probably too much. Like, the rehab process is tough. That was a severe ankle break for him, but everything sounds good to this point in time. And it's one that if you don't want to pay him, okay, well, guess what? You have the cheap route right there. If you really think that it's not Dak, well, Andy Dalton's right there. You can pay that dude $2 million to be your quarterback, see if he can sign a free agent or two on the offensive line, start drafting defensive players, and see what happens. Like, the cheap route is available because we get so caught up on quarterback contracts and percentage of the salary. Well, the option is right there for you if you don't want Dak Prescott around, or you can't come to an agreement. Like, it's okay in this situation, but there are teams that have to come out of this market with a win. Like Chicago Bears. No, this is your chance to erase Mitchell Trubisky. This is your chance to get the guy you missed on in, say, Deshaun Watson, and pay a king's ransom to get him in because you're in win-now mode, and it's okay. And it's a situation. You look at the quarterback market. Dak Prescott, I don't know, man. If you're going to play the what-if game, I still think they could have won that terrible division if he's their quarterback. Does that make you want to pay him more money?
Too.
No, but it just shows you the difference that he can make.
So then you would have a track record, because I agree with you, right? I think they would have won that division. I do. Probably at 8-8, and you guys, everybody would be thrilled, and he'd probably be making top 5 money, and they'd pay him because they went to the playoffs. Everybody would feel better about themselves. So I agree with that. But he didn't. The reality is he's a good quarterback coming off a horrific injury. He's a young quarterback. Is he going to be the same? You're taking a little bit of a chance. I would offer him top 6-7 money, which is what, JJ, right in this $37 million a year area, right? And here's your 4 or 5 years. You know what? And honestly, if I'm Jerry, I would back off if he only wants 4 and he wants instead of 5. If he only wants 4, then get that done.
And here's the thing with the franchise tag: Dak Prescott was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL last season.
It's silly
because of the franchise tag.
Yeah,
and that $31 million. And this is one that I think it grinds on everybody. It's like, figure it out at this point in time. But it's also okay. If Dak and Dallas can't come to a long-term deal, guess what? You'll play it out this year, see if you strike lightning in a bottle, if you can live up to the hype, be this player offensively that carries the team to win a division, actually wins a playoff game, and then you're going to earn his money. If not, he'll be on the open market, and Dallas will be looking at what's next.
All right, 505-246-0610. Cowboy fan, are you sick of it yet? I mean, you've got to be at this point. That's your team, and you think that's your quarterback, and you're sitting here thinking, why? Like, why can't we figure this out? But it is what it is. All right, Jack says those were the days. I'm not going to go Edith on it. My throat hurts. I don't want to deal with that. Jeff, this used to be the most fun week of the year. Leading up to you and Stiglin in Dream Style, straight from Vegas to do your show at 3 o'clock on Sunday, right before selection of Lobo Basketball's path to the Sweet 16 was revealed. I don't think Lobo Basketball has even been mentioned on the award-winning OD this morning. It's been mentioned. It's not talked about. I don't know. You think Lobos can make a run? You think they can win a game? They got to play a Fresno State team that's playing really, really well right now, right? If you're Fresno State, you're looking at it and saying, we can make a run. We'll get through New Mexico, and then we get to play in that, 6-3 game? They get, it would be Colorado State, is that right?
Yep, so the top 4 seeds on the men's side, it's San Diego State, Utah State, Colorado State, Boise State.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a dark horse to get to Friday,
Fresno State.
It's Fresno State and it's Nevada, because Fresno State can get through Boise because they're playing really well and they just beat them the other day.
No, Fresno State will get Colorado State.
The 6-3 game, that would be Colorado State. They can too. Mm-hmm. Hell, did you see that? And Nevada can get through Boise. I mean, you could have and so if now you want to talk about a one bid league, now it's up to Utah State if that happens. Then it's up to Utah State. But
yes. Well, guess what? Fresno State took the opportunity. They showed up ready to play. They were looking forward to playing basketball games last week, and look where that puts them. In a situation where they have a ton of confidence that 10 days ago you didn't think that team would have going to the Mountain West Tournament.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. I want to talk to you about the basketball tournaments. What you thought. Have you been watching hoops, by the way? March hoops has been spectacular. Everybody who tells me more teams should be in the NCAA tournament or whatever, the conference tournaments are essentially an extension of the NCAA tournament. You're playing yourself into the next round, into the next day, into the next tournament. And that's really what it is. It is everybody's in. I mean, essentially everybody's in the NCAA tournament because everybody in a league, which is everybody, enters the postseason with the shot. Just keep winning. You got to get through your league, and then you get into the big bracket. But, I mean, it essentially is. And we've had some terrific ends. JJ talked about Houston over Memphis, USC over UCLA, Nevada over Colorado State. There have just been some terrific ends to games, and we're going to get a lot more. 505-246-0610 is how to get into us, and Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Hey, who's watching your home? Who do you use for home security? If the answer is nobody, you might want to revisit that strategy, and I suggest IPS, International Protective Service. They've been watching my home for years. I trust them. They are by every single day, and don't wait until something bad happens. Make sure that you are being protected in this town with property crime on the rise. And if you trusted your home to one of these local companies that's now on the brink of being bought by a national corporate giant, and that's not what you want, let me just assure you that IPS is not for sale. IPS and Aaron are invested in this community. They care about your home and care about your business security as if it's their own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what is yours. They come by every day. You go out of town, you let them know. They'll pick up the newspaper, the garbage, roll out the garbage cans on garbage day. Just your home will have that lived-in look. And they do a perimeter check every day. They come by at night. I see them on the security cameras. I was gone last week for a night. It just gives you that sense of security. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Give them a look. IPSglobal.com.
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores.
Cut into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer from Murillo.
Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. Gonna settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side foot. Shot on and goal. Deflected in. No.
Dorian's going to go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos. Got it. Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Get it stripped. Calion stripped him. Come Highland the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it.
What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbayosi throws it down.
As Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's going to walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house fly. Cardinals fly. To the other side, provide some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out. See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man, touchdown, Wildcats. Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Kowski on the sideline. Asta Manana, he's off to the races. Touchdown, Clovis.
20% capacity for opening day in Chicago for baseball, which is coming quick, little by little, little by little, little by little. Just be careful. I know there's a big fear. We're going to have a big fear. We're going to have some sort of regression and everything's going to shut back down. Be careful. But boy, enjoy moving a little bit. So you guys were out hitting the T-ball this weekend, having Austin swing on the bat, huh?
Yep, big year working on hand-eye coordination. Catch, hit something off a tee. Very important.
So I almost bought you a regular tee for him for birthday this year. And I'm thinking, I looked at it. It was 6 and over. He's not quite there yet. Yeah, but it's going to happen like
Ready
that.
for the challenge.
Look, mine's almost a sophomore. How quick did that go? Right. All right.
Blink of an eye.
I know. 505-246-0610. Let's go to it. Hello, John. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good. How you living?
I'm doing good. Hey, JJ's right about Dak Prescott. He's damaged goods right now, and Jerry Jones made him a good offer last year, and he didn't take it. And Patrick Mahomes' money is ridiculous because the guy hasn't won anything. And I'm a lifelong Cowboy fan, and I'm just not sure. You're going to have to franchise tag him, and then if he doesn't want to sign, well, go for it. You're not going to get any more money, and it's just so frustrating as a Cowboy fan. Because you can't see injuries like he had coming. But he should have signed that darn contract. We wouldn't be talking about this. And that's on him. And as bad as Jerry Jones is, this one's on Dak. And he's a great guy. He's a great character guy, Dak is. But it's his fault that they're in the predicament that they're in. So
it's great stuff, John. No, I appreciate it.
I don't know if you read my email. JJ and Nikki, the call at the Colorado State game with the local women, that was fantastic. I was riveted. I was out and about, driving, listening, and that was fantastic. You guys did a great job.
Thank you, John. JJ, you guys did have a great call. A great call. Hey, can I take credit for that? I mean, I'll give you the credit if you want, but that was kind of my take, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's and I get where Cowboy. It's frustrating, man. When we're talking about athletes and money, I understand these conversations can absolutely grind on fans. Like, what are we talking about? How many millions? Like, how many hundreds of millions of dollars isn't enough for you? I get it, but also I don't really think there's necessarily a big loser in this. Yes, Dallas and Dak don't have a long-term contract, but if you're Dak Prescott, you broke your ankle, man, but you're still potentially coming out of this with over $60 million of guaranteed money over 2 years. That ain't too bad. Like if he gets
70.
franchise tagged again.
Damn near 70.
Like, yeah, you don't have a long-term deal, but you're still coming out of this with a ridiculous amount of money.
He made, 32 last year, 37 this year. It's damn near $70 million. The loser would be if Dak just has a sour taste in his mouth, and after this year they part ways. They got to start all over again. The loser then would be the Cowboys. But and to John's point, Dak's going to have a hell of a year to get the money he wants. He's got a team willing to pay it. Now, look, next year there's always a team in a position that they're looking for a quarterback, always. And we went into this past football season talking about how this is the craziest time you and I have ever seen. It feels like every team was set at quarterback, right? Every single team. And now we're looking, whoa, maybe 18 quarterbacks are going to move. What the hell happened? Well, I mean, Dwayne Haskins was a flop, and I'll tell you what happened. Jim Garoppolo's okay, and fine isn't what you're looking for, and Kirk Cousins is fine, and the Bears decided that's not where they're going, and Drew Brees is retiring, and Matt Ryan is old, and the Rams completely changed course, and the Eagles completely changed course, and so now here we are. So there will be a place for him next year. Somebody will pay him a lot of money. Will he get what he wants? Probably pretty damn close, because there'll be more than one team and there'll be a bidding war for him.
I agree with that. In a situation that I still do believe, if you want to say he's the 9th best quarterback or 13th best quarterback, okay. But he's a guy that I feel can win at a high level. He is a talented enough player, because you do look at that offense, and yeah, they have a lot of weapons, but it was also, even when they were losing those games, I get it. It was different. Like all this, Michael Gallup is a better receiver with Dak Prescott than he was Andy Dalton. So even
actually, I thought it was the other way. I thought he was better at the end of the year.
Well, last year, you look at what they did. Now it was kind of CeeDee Lamb coming in as they figured it out with that 3 wide receiver set. But I think he's one of those guys that can make your offense just a little bit better. But he still has to go out there and prove it again. And coming off the ankle injury, he has a lot to show.
So, look, I agree. Good quarterback. I don't know that I think he's great. Were they losing? Well, Jeff, their defense stunk. Hey, but look what they were down 39-7 to the Atlanta Falcons or whatever the number was. Like, why are they having to have these second-half comebacks? Why are they – this isn't all on his defense. How many times did Dak turn the ball over? It's not like Dak was lighting the world up. His numbers were good because he had really big second halves and come back and throwing the ball all around the yard. Did he make Michael Gallup better? No. He made CeeDee Lamb better? Absolutely. And then there's the piece of the injury. JJ, are you at all concerned about the injury? Are you at all concerned about
I'm
him
probably
coming
not
back?
as concerned as I need to be.
So can I give you the comparisons? And if you want to give me somebody on the other end, because I'm looking for it. Comparable injuries were Joe Theismann, Alex Smith, right? And we've seen what happened. Alex Smith came all the way back, but certainly wasn't what he was.
Well, this was an ankle injury,
right? But snapped. Can you? It was lower in the leg, but it snapped. It was multiple fractures. Can you give me somebody who came back from something like that? And Dak's young, and if you're going to ask me, do I think he's coming back? Yeah, I think he's going to be that guy. But there's got to be a question, doesn't there?
Yeah, and that's why I think ultimately they settle on a franchise tag, 1 year, see how it goes. You get a big chunk of money, still close to one of the highest paid quarterbacks for this 1 year. Dak will get a chance to prove himself, see how he feels. Dallas will get a chance to see, all right, are we going to live up to this hype offensively? Can they get to a point where they can overcome some of the deficiencies that they have defensively? And I think this, as much as a grind it is, and it's a story like, oh, here we go again, this is probably best case scenario. You get a 1 year filled out, Dak gets paid, he gets to come back and see how he plays, and Dallas gets to kind of one last chance to evaluate where they're going as a franchise.
If he doesn't sour on it, yeah. Yeah, and it's one more chance to love on Dak and let him know how much you love him, and then what's he going to get paid more next year? I mean, at some point, Jerry's got a number, right? Yeah,
everyone has a number, and especially with the cap situation this year where a lot of veterans are going to take a hit. A lot of guys are going to be on the free agent market, and then you're looking at the highest paid guys in the game at the quarterback position. You're going to hit that ceiling.
Oh, that's right. All right, 505-246-0610. Your thought, Cowboy fan, are you tired of it? Where does it go? And I guess my biggest question to you is, do you have a concern about the injury, or is it to see he's going to be fine and he's Dak and he is what it is, and he's either you love him or you think he's, as we talk about with New Mexico State, he's fine. It's the opening drive, JJ.
Well, you know what is fine as well? That is getting yourself back in shape or looking to challenge yourself to get to the next level. So let me tell you about F45 training. F45 is functional training. It's a mix of circuit and high-intensity training in a class atmosphere, and the 45 stands for 45 minutes. I love the classes. It's going to push you to exertion, but it's also for all fitness levels, and that's the thing. Me being on the sidelines for the last year, I was uncertain myself. What's it going to be like? How am I going to handle this? Well, you can work your way in. You're not going in there going to feel overwhelmed. Certified trainers are there to help you every step of the way. And you go to a class, it's a good atmosphere. It's controlled environment still, of course, COVID-safe practices. You're wearing your mask. The class sizes are limited, so that's why you need to check them out at f45training.com or download the F45 app so you can take a look at this week's schedule. Every day is a different class, a different challenge, the workout that is involved. I also love that they're open 7 days a week, so if you have a busy week, you can catch back up on the weekends. I did a Saturday and Sunday morning workout this past weekend, to get that pump, get that energy to finish the weekend and get you ready for the week. They're located at 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's really good access from wherever you are in town, right there, Paseo and I-25. You can also sign up for a 7-day free trial, no strings attached, so you can try it, see if you're comfortable, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to like it, enjoy the atmosphere, you're going to get pumped up, and you're going to want to finish and push yourself forward. It's F45 Functional Training. Check them out, f45training.com, or download the F45 app today. Team
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Creates space. He gives it off to Rivas for the three, and he buries it.
Could be coming in soon. Double pick set for Avalos. Goes to the right. Avalos puts it up high. Window scores it as foul.
Brought here by Lewis all the way, coast to coast, and finish.
What a
Around the screen against White. Step back. It's blocked. JB with the block.
in transition. Ahead to hit on. Hit on for the two-hand hammer.
Minutes to go. They've got a shot. They have a chance. And it's put up. And it's good. What a three that is by Jalen.
Hidon puts it up.
Rebound Cowboys. Right side David Hall. Thank you very much. Here come the Cowboys. Domina Lovato lays it up. Missed it. Hey, how about it? Thank you, Lusses. Thank you very much, Raquan Mitchell. Clock at 6. They get it. Barnes Tompkins fires. Yes! Pass up court. This for the win. Blocked by DJ Bustos. Cowboys win. Cowboys win.
Played over to Madrid, plays it across the box off the dasher. It's settled. Shot up by Garcia. Trickles in. Goal.
Chavez blocked at the rim. And here's Dorian Lewis to Watson.
Shot on and just wide, big deflection, goal.
With this first field goal. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Not a game you can go have 25 turnovers in and win.
Get that out of here, Watson says. Here comes Hodnett all the way. He's blocked in return. Dickey, did he get it off? He did, and he hit it. They're really... Oliveras. Wild three, and it hit.
Another steal nearly by Hidon. It is a steal. Avalos ahead to Hidon. The two-hand hammer by Hidon. I knew he was going to put that one down.
ProView Networks tonight.
District matchup there.
Davidson took it away in transition. Might be time for a jam. Yes.
Oh!
Big Barton, watch him, coach. Watch the inbounder.
Dumas Sanchez in the corner.
Back to Barton with 2.4 seconds left. Fires for the win. And he got it! It's good!
Oh my God! That they were going to sign a long-term deal there.
So there have been recent instances of this. Jarvis
Khalil
Landry
Mack?
was tagged by Miami, traded to Cleveland.
Was Khalil Mack?
I don't
No,
think
when
that was
okay.
a franchise tag situation. But you look at Frank Clark, D Ford, a couple pass rushers are franchise tagged and then traded. Yannick Ngakoue, who started out in Jacksonville, went to Minnesota, went to Baltimore.
So it's
was one of those
happened.
players. So yes, it can happen.
All right. All right. Well, there's your answer. 505-246-0610. Fred, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, Fred.
Hi, guys. Hey, I just want to put my good stuff in about of course, the Lady Lobos. I'm like you guys. I thought Bradbury, that was the only thing bad is he didn't get Coach of the Year, which seems like I didn't even think there was any doubt that he wouldn't get it, even though LaRoche, the girl from Vegas, had a fabulous year. But I still remember going back, Jeff, you'll remember this, when Coach Flanagan coached. He won 26 games twice, 25 games twice, 24 games twice. He won over 11 times, and he won the Coach of the Year one time. So I don't know what it is. I remember Coach Elliott. Do you remember Coach Elliott from Utah?
Elaine Elliott at Utah, yeah.
Right. She had something against Flanagan because she'd win the conference championship, and he'd beat her in the tournament. And, man, I don't know what it was. The rumor was she just called all the coaches and said, don't vote for Flanagan. I don't know if that's the reason. But, anyway, I felt bad for him. But congratulations to the Lady Lobos, though. Anderson, Latasha, and who I'm missing, Jalen did a sort of, winning those awards. And then I wanted to congratulate also I mentioned the cross-country team last week, 13 straight championships, and it wasn't even close. We had like 29 points. The next closest was around 50. And then the last thing is I felt bad about Lively, the pitcher for the Lobos. He's pitched 3 games. He's gone 20 innings. He struck out 25 guys, and he's got an ERA of 0.90. It's incredible what he's doing, the kid from Cruces. But I just want to congratulate what he's doing so far. But anyway, go Lady Lobos tonight, and hopefully we can win. We can win the Mountain West Championship. So see you guys. And
All right,
JJ,
see you, Fred.
good job.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, Fred called the 246-0610. I don't know. I'm going to guess, and I know the contract's available. Probably cost Bradbury, between 10 and 20 grand, probably for a bonus, right, for being Coach of the Year. I think there's a bonus for winning the conference regular season championship, and I think there's another bonus if he should get to the NCAA tournament. But Coach of the Year probably would have been a bonus too. I mean, it's all built in. So save the university money, Fred. If you feel better about that, they don't have to pay out his bonus. You feel better about that? That one to me, and I'm going to lean on you because this is your beat. I don't know where UNLV. What was UNLV picked to finish 7th, 8th, something like that, and they finished 2nd or 3rd, right?
9th.
They're picked 9th.
They picked to finish 9th. They finished 2nd. The Lobos were picked to finish 6th.
And they won the thing.
And they won the outright title. But I would
and they've
think
been on the road the
want
whole
to
time.
Put a little bit more weight into what UNM did.
So, is it a media vote, or as far as they're concerned, women, or is it voted by the coaches? Do you know?
That's a good question. Which I don't know the answer to that right this
Because if it's a media vote, I'm going to wonder how much of the media knows what UNM's deal was. Honestly, you would think if they're following the league, they would know. I look at the circumstances surrounding what UNM did, and for them to win their first outright league championship in 18 years or whatever the number is, 16 years, and to do it the way they did it, and be on the road the entirety of the season until the final game. I feel like, and typically I don't get that big into awards. I remember when Alford and it was going back and forth with San Diego State, and Xavier Thames was it Kendall Williams, JJ, for Player of the Year, right? And Steve said, the best player on the best team should win. And I'm like, well, I just never get into it. But this time, man, I think Bradbury should have won this award. I think he got hosed on this one.
I think putting Lindy LaRocque into the conversation is a fine debate. First-year coach, UNLV is playing as good as anyone, probably not named New Mexico at this point in time, to finish the season, to be the 2nd seed in the Mountain West tournament. But I just still look at overall the challenges that were in front of UNM, and they rose to the occasion and beat them and won the conference outright. It would seem like that would be one of the years where you go, no, yeah, we're going to give it to the coach of the best team at this moment.
Yeah, especially because of everything you just said. But it is what it is. They can go win and give them a little chip on their shoulder to go out and win it for coach and get to the NCAA tournament. It's about now that this town should get behind this Lady Lobos. And maybe it'll be after tonight if they're playing in the semifinals or whatever. But they're 3 wins away from the NCAA tournament, and they have a real shot at going back to the NCAA tournament. They're guaranteed. There is a women's NIT this year, right?
Yes, there is.
So they are guaranteed, I believe, if it's like the men, if you win the regular season championship and don't get your auto bid, then you're automatically into the NIT on the men's side. Is that the same way on the women's side?
Yeah, so they did announce 4 regional sites that will be playing at WNIT this year, so that's something to potentially look forward to. I don't know if there's any changes with that given the year that it has been, but I'll look more into that. But I did see that announcement last week from the WNIT. And to your point, Jeff, I saw it Friday night. There was a lot of reaction to that game. Even if you pulled up the Facebook stream, there were a ton of comments, people watching down the stretch, and just a reaction to this team winning the Mountain West Championship. It was definitely a much-needed jolt of good news for the sporting community.
Yeah, Addie and I got back. We got home and watched. We were listening in the car. I picked her up from practice, and we got something to eat. We came back, and we watched the last 4.5 minutes on the stream with you and Nikki, and it was so cool. She was into it. She was really kind of stoked, and she always asked me, Dad, why do all the New Mexico teams stink? Like, why the Isotopes stink, and why the Lobos and that? And so it was good for her to see a championship. It's been a minute, and by the way, she runs cross country, and so for me to show her that, look, cross country won again, and it was good for her, but. It was really kind of cool to listen to you have that call and have that moment. I was really, really stoked for you in that moment in your first year on this job, and hopefully first year of many for you to be calling these games. But it had to be a thrill for you to be in the building and calling a championship.
It was a reminder of why we enjoy these things so much. And I was just sitting there going, man, I can't wait until fans are back in this building. I can't wait until you have that. You got a little taste of that a couple weekends ago with Lobo baseball having fans, but it's the energy. It's what we're all in it for, is those moments. close games down the stretch, players making plays, and then Nikki said it right. She's like, man, if I could trade my spot with like a family member or something, I would.
Yeah, I heard that.
But we understood that we get to enjoy something. We were just hopeful that we could share it in a positive way to everyone that was tuning in, because it was a huge moment that so many people didn't get to experience live. But I think you saw it in the players. Like, that meant something. With all the questions, and I know Colorado State was hinting about it, like, well, I don't know if we're going to play for a title. You're going to play for a title. Because when that final horn sounded and then the Lobos rushed the court, that meant everything to this team this season.
Just watching the celebration, it was undeniable. And I couldn't help but think, in a year like this, with the men being down and the women playing for a championship, there probably would have been 10,000, 12,000 people in the pit for that game.
Yeah.
Right? You know, for a winner-take-all conference championship game with an exciting team, there probably would have been about 10,000, 12,000 in the pit. 505-246-0610. We got another segment for you to respond. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything that went down, from Bryson DeChambeau to the Lady Lobos to Aggie football to conference tournaments to the All-Star game. Glad you're with us. Jay Pohl is in the room now. Look, Josh can do it by himself, so Jay Pohl came in and got some help. I'm kidding, man. You could do it by yourself. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Let's play it over to Madrid. Plays it across the box off the dasher. It's settled. Shot on by Garcia. Trickles in. Goal.
Chavez blocked at the rim. And here's Dorian Lewis to Watson.
Shot on and just wide. Big deflection. Goal.
With his first field goal. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Not a game you can go have 25 turnovers in and win.
Get that out of here, Watson says. Here comes Hodnett all the way. He's blocked in return. Dickey, did he get it off? He did, and he hit it. They're really... Oliveras. Wild three, and it hit.
Another steal nearly by Hiron. It is a steal. Avalos ahead to Hiron. The two-hand hammer by Hiron. I knew he was going to put that one down.
ProView Networks tonight.
District matchup there.
Davidson took it away in transition. Might be time for a jam. Yes.
Oh!
Big Barton, watch him, coach. Watch the inbounder.
Dumas Sanchez in the corner.
Back to Barton with 2.4 seconds left. Fires for the win. And he got it! It's good! Oh my God! On the last second shot. He did! Oh my God! Bakes it in from 25 feet, and watch the celebration right in front of us. What a shot by Barton. He was double teamed and somehow found a way to get it in.
Bravo to Gaxiola. High window for the win. It's good. It counts. Gaxiola with the game winner for a Driscoll Heritage.
ahead.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish.
Natalia Chavez, good spin. Takes a
Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop through the.
Play with the gambling a little bit. Oh, there's a.
Hill, little step, high window. And got the second.
To the middle.
Here we go, 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry, Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis. It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo.
reverse layup.
Don't forget, JJ and Nikki will take the air here on the Sports Animal at 12:30 today, pregame show. The tip-off is 1 o'clock. Quarterfinals, Mountain West Conference Tournament, Lobo women against Air Force, UNM, of course, the number 1 seed and 3 wins away from earning a berth in the NCAA tournament. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Bobcat's been in for Micah today, been very, very quiet on the radio today, Bobcat, which it's unlike you. Have we just not yielded you enough space, or you okay this morning?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing just fine.
All right, you're with us again tomorrow?
He's fine.
He's fine.
Not good, he's fine.
That's the theme of the day. We're all fine. Everybody's fine.
Yes,
All
I'll be
right.
with you tomorrow morning also.
I appreciate you being here and filling in for young Micah. Everybody's fine. JJ, that's the theme of the day. Everybody's just fine. Hopefully your Lady Lobos are better than fine. Omar says, I think this spending the entire short season on the road is a big nothing burger, Jeff. I realize the circumstances aren't exactly the same. For years, Lobo football went at significant cost to Ruidoso because at least we were told at the time it helped them focus on getting ready for the season. Omar, certainly you can
That
see
email
the
is a big nothing burger.
Right?
2 weeks in the preseason at Ruidoso practicing versus being stuck in this. They were stuck. No, they're not at these huge big time resorts.
They're at the
isolated
Comfort Inn,
in
man.
your hotel room for hours upon hours of a day. This is legit. Like, this team is good. And so they blew through the expectations. But don't be out there trying to downplay what they went through like it was nothing just because they won. Give them their credit.
Yeah, Omar, I'm going to agree with JJ on this. I think, and certainly you can realize the difference between going to Ruidoso for 2.5 or 2 weeks and doing training camp, as opposed to being on the road and uncertain where your next game's going to be, when you can come home. And then to JJ's point, the isolation, this wasn't, Bradbury talked about the isolation of being, because there was COVID positive, they're in their rooms. They would get a knock on the door and there'd be a tray sitting on the floor outside their room, and that's how they picked up their food. And they ate in their room. They didn't go out. Come on. I mean, if you feel it's overplayed, I'll listen to you, but I don't think it is. The uncertainty of where you're going to be, where you're going to play, when you're going to play, against whom you're going to play, can you play, and by the way, you're not welcome in your home state. Come on.
And there was a point in time for this women's basketball team. It was 51 straight days on the road. No pit stops.
Come on.
Renting
How do you do your
gyms.
laundry, man?
Like, you're lucky if you get an hour practice time wherever you are. Like, this is legitimate, and what they did to come together, yeah, it can go one way or the other. And Bradbury said it. They chose to play basketball, so they tried to make the best of their situation. And these players, first, they're good, but they also were locked in and focused to where they didn't let it go the other way. But just because they had success doesn't mean it wasn't a challenge.
Yeah. Dan, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Dan.
He dropped.
He dropped. Dan's not here. All right. I agree with you. And Omar, sometimes I get these emails, and I wonder, Are you kidding me? Joe, good morning. You're up on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Joe.
Hello?
Hello, Joe. You're on the air.
Yes, thank you. I just had a call in and comment on Omar's comment. Most of the folks in town obviously are celebrating the fact that the women did well and are also sad that the men's team did not have a good season. We all understand that. But there seem to be a few people who are insistent upon bringing the women's accomplishment down. I don't know if it's so that they make the men not look as bad, or I don't know. But it is really annoying to me that we somehow have to say if one Lobo team does well, that somehow diminishes a team that had an off year. Obviously the best is if they're both doing well, and the football team and the baseball team and everybody else. That's great. But that's not going to happen most years.
Yeah,
so why some people just cannot, appreciate what this women's team has done? And you're absolutely right. The conditions they were in were bad. Everybody's conditions are bad. Theirs were probably significantly worse. And I don't understand the reaction of people like Omar. Anyway, that's about it. Thank you for giving me a moment to talk.
Great call. Thank you for calling. I think you hit it so totally on the head. Yes. What he said. Yes.
Like, it's okay. Like, celebrate things. Like, it's okay to have good moments. And it goes back to one of the emails we got last week, and it's like, well, I don't know if it's really that good. This is only a one-bid league, Jeff, so really what are the women doing? They won a conference that has 4 really competitive teams up top. They had to play all those 4 teams. They played on back-to-back days, by the way, and you have the other side of this conference, the men's teams pointing fingers, doing this or that, and no, like, it's okay to enjoy it. We're not saying they're UConn, but we're saying they're a good basketball team that beat everyone's expectations in a year we didn't even know if they're going to play basketball. Enjoy it, and the work ain't done because they got a big one today against Air Force.
Look, and if you want to tell me it's a first world problem, I'll even listen to you, right? Oh, well, they have it tougher in this. Yeah, you're right. Did they have it the toughest of anybody in the world? No, they didn't. But as far as college basketball teams, yeah, they had about as tough as anybody did, and they won a conference championship. Bob, thanks for filling in. Great working with you. Appreciate it. Look forward to working with you again tomorrow. Thank you for keeping us somewhat on track today.
You're
somewhat
welcome.
on track today. Josh, terrific work on the television side. You can watch us on ProView Network, Comcast Channel 26, every day at 3 o'clock. The show re-airs. Jim Rome Show is next. JJ and Nikki take the air at 12:30 for Lobo Women's Basketball. You get some Sports Bar after that. And we're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio. JJ, have a great call. Enjoy it today. I know you will, postseason basketball.
Have a day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ramos, rise and fire. He's fouled.
He used to coach for Del Norte. And
Here's Voss all the way with the finish. He'll get the. Behind the back of the dribble. Tries to go up with the right hand. He changed hands in midair. And Hotnet sent it away. Wynn doing a really good job denying Chavez. DC hasn't got the ball. Oh, Yeku. Oh. Watson, oh, look at the spin move.
Ball's loose. DJ Bustos brings it up. Barnes Tompkins, alley-oop. How about it? That was redunculous.
Turnover. Cable to the big fella might try to jam on home.
Oh, let's get a little closer. Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what
Hill's gonna just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's gonna fire at the buzzer and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
Tie in the district. Inside. Fly. Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this. Stripped. Stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Could have said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another
steal
one.
at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we can see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.